1918, a British soldier had Adolf Hitler in his sights. He lowered his weapon. He let him walk away. That soldier's name was Henry Tandey. He was the most decorated private in the entire British Army. He had killed before. He was willing to kill, but not this man, not like this. It was an act of mercy. It was the worst decision in human history. And he wouldn't find out for 20 years. It's September 1918. World War I has been burning for 4 years. Tens of millions of people are dead. The trenches stretch across the face of Europe like open wounds that refuse to close. But something has shifted. The Germans are retreating. The Allies are pushing. After 4 years of almost no movement, the front line is finally moving. The war isn't over, but everyone can feel that it's ending. Henry Tandey is 27 years old. He's been in this war since nearly the beginning. He's fought at Ypres, at the Somme, at Passchendaele, places that will live in history as some of the most brutal battlefields ever recorded. He's still alive, somehow. By September 1918, he has been wounded 3 times. He keeps coming back. He is not a famous man. He is not an officer. He is a private soldier, the lowest rank in the British Army. The kind of man who does what he's told, goes where he's sent, and hopes to make it home. But in 1 week, one single week in September 1918, Henry Tandey will do 3 things so extraordinary that the British Army will give him 3 of its highest honors simultaneously. The Victoria Cross, the Distinguished Conduct Medal, the Military Medal. In 1 week, that almost never happens. Henry Tandey is not a man who hesitates. He is not a man who flinches, which makes what happens next so hard to explain. September 28, 1918. The Green Howards Regiment is advancing near a small French village called Marcoing. The fighting has been brutal. The Germans are falling back, but they're fighting as they go. Every field, every road, every tree line is contested. Tandey's unit pushes through. And then, in the smoke and the chaos of the advance, Tandey sees him. A German soldier, alone, wounded, stumbling, not fighting, not a threat. Just a young man trying to get away from a battle he has already lost. Tandey raises his weapon. He has a clear shot. The soldier doesn't run. He doesn't beg. He just looks at Tandey, exhausted, beaten, waiting. And Henry Tandey, the man who had survived 4 years of the worst war in human history, the man who would be decorated 3 times in a single week, the man who had never hesitated before, lowered his rifle. He couldn't do it. Not like this. Not to a wounded man who couldn't fight back. He let him go. The German soldier nodded. Some accounts say he gave a small gesture of gratitude and disappeared into the smoke. Tandey never learned his name. He probably never thought about him again. The war ended 6 weeks later. Henry Tandey came home to England. He tried to put the war behind him. He went back to ordinary life, working, getting older, carrying the usual weight that soldiers carry when they come home from something like that. The man he spared was gone, a face in the smoke, one of thousands. Years passed, then a decade, then 2. The world moved on. And then 1933 happened. A man named Adolf Hitler became Chancellor of Germany. Tandey watched the news like everyone else. Watched Germany rearm, watched the speeches, watched Europe hold its breath. He had no reason to connect any of it to a muddy field in France 15 years earlier. He had no reason to connect it to himself at all. 1938. British Prime Minister Neville Chamberlain travels to Berchtesgaden in Germany to meet with Adolf Hitler. He is there to negotiate, to find peace, to prevent another war. He is shown into Hitler's private study, and there on the wall is a painting, a print of a work by the artist Fortunino Matania, a scene from World War I, a British soldier carrying a wounded comrade through the ruins of a French village. The soldier in the painting is Henry Tandey. He had posed for it after the war. Hitler points at the painting, and he says, "That man came so near to killing me, that I thought I should never see Germany again. Providence saved me. Chamberlain's office contacts the British War Office. The British War Office contacts Henry Tandey. The message is simple. Adolf Hitler says you spared his life in 1918. Henry Tandey, now in his late 40s, living quietly in England, reads that message, and the face in the smoke comes back. The wounded soldier, the clear shot, the decision to show mercy. He had thought about it as one of thousands of small moments in a long, brutal war. Now he understood what it actually was. Here is what we know for certain. Henry Tandey was real. The most decorated British private of World War I, Hitler was serving on the Western Front in September 1918 in the same general region. The painting was on Hitler's wall. Here is what we can't fully prove. There is no record from 1918, no diary entry, no letter, no military document that confirms this specific encounter happened exactly as described. The entire story traces back to Hitler's own claim, made 20 years later to a foreign dignitary. Hitler had every reason to mythologize his own survival. By 1938, he was already building a story of divine providence. A British soldier showing mercy and walking away fits that narrative perfectly. Some historians believe it, some don't, but here is what is not in dispute. Henry Tandey believed it. He gave interviews later in life. He confirmed that he had spared a wounded German soldier that day. He had no way of knowing if it was Hitler specifically, but he believed it was, and that belief followed him for the rest of his life. When World War II began, when the bombs fell on London, when the death camps were discovered, when the final count came in at somewhere between 70 and 85 million people dead, Henry Tandey lived with the weight of what he had done, or what he thought he had done. He died in 1977. He was 86 years old. He never stopped thinking about it. Did Henry Tandey spare Adolf Hitler's life? The truth is, we don't know. But for the rest of his life, Tandey lived in a world where millions of people believed he had. And that's a burden few people can imagine. Because history isn't always about what happened. Sometimes it's about what might have happened. And sometimes those are the questions that keep you up at night.